Good morning. Today I am going on an adventure to something that we have here in the state of Nevada that always interests me. We have these little, well, they're not little, they're kind of big. We have these blue markers. They're actually historical markers. And every time I drive by them, I am so interested in them. I really have a thing for signs. I happen to be a graphic designer, so maybe it's just inherent in my nature that I like signs. But I like the signs and I like the history, the little tidbits of history that they print on these signs. So this morning I am going to start the first video in my series of hunting these Nevada historical marker signs. And there are a lot of them. There are 274, I think that's the number. There could be more, could be less. And they're all over the state of Nevada. And I had these grandiose plans that I was gonna do all 274 markers, and I was gonna go in not alphabetical, chronological order. Well, no, I'm not, because I would be going all over the state of Nevada, and it would be incredibly unfuel efficient. So I abandoned that idea, and I'm just gonna do it in clumps and clusters of wherever I find myself. I don't really know how long this is gonna take to complete all 274, but I've had this in my mind for quite a long time, and today's the day that I start. And I'm going to start with 4 today. They actually happen to be like less than 10 minutes away from my house. So that's where we're going. We're going to go check out these Nevada historical markers. These Nevada historical markers that I'm going to today, they're all very clustered close together right off of Nevada 160 or Blue Diamond Highway. The first one that we're going to go to actually isn't right off of Blue Diamond. The following 3 will be. The first one is actually in the town of Blue Diamond, which is not too far from Nevada 160, which happens to be the road that I'm driving on right now. So yeah, I'm going to start off at the marker in the town of Blue Diamond. All right, we just turned off of Nevada 160, which is Blue Diamond Highway, and now we're on Nevada 159, which takes us, if we were to continue past the town of Blue Diamond, we would take this to get over to Red Rock Canyon. But we're going to Blue Diamond to see that historical marker. If you have never been to the town of Blue Diamond, right off of the Red Rock Road, Nevada 159, it is a cool, quaint little town. They have a restaurant and bar here called Cottonwood Station, which is probably my favorite restaurant in all of Las Vegas. Although I don't know if this is technically considered Las Vegas, but okay, we are coming up on the marker that is here in Blue Diamond. This one is actually not a blue marker. It is on stone. It's right here in front of this grocery store.
Nevada Historical Marker number 33, Old Spanish Trail. Stretching for 130 miles across Clark County, this historic horse trail became Nevada's first route of commerce in 1829 when trade was initiated between Santa Fe and Los Angeles. The trail was later used by the wagons of the 49ers and Mormon pioneers. Concrete posts marking the trail were erected in 1965.
All right, so that was marker number 33. Talking about a little bit of the history of the Old Spanish Trail. And then there's going to be another marker that we're going to go visit, and that'll be a blue marker that also talks about the Spanish Trail right off of Nevada 160 Blue Diamond Highway. So that is one of 4 markers that we are going to be visiting in this video today. Onward to the second marker. The other cool thing about that town Blue Diamond is it's very similar to Beatty, Nevada. If you've ever driven through Beatty, Nevada, no doubt you have seen the burros that are always there. They're like a permanent part of the population. Well, it's the same thing in Blue Diamond. There's always burros there, although I didn't see any on this visit. Every couple of times I go and visit, I will see the burros hanging out there. Most of the time when you encounter these historical markers, they are these blue metal markers in the shape of the state of Nevada. But the earlier markers, say like 1 through, I don't know, well obviously that was 33, but I think like the first 10 are all stone markers, like the one that we just saw over in Blue Diamond. The next marker that we're going to go to is the normal blue marker, and I believe that is also another Spanish Trail marker. And then there'll be another marker after that. The third marker we'll see, that's another blue marker, and then the fourth marker up in Mountain Springs I think is a stone marker. So 2 blue markers and 2 stone markers today. All right, we are at our second stop of our marker quest, and this is another old Spanish Trail marker right off of Nevada 160, just outside of the town of Blue Diamond. And this marker, unlike the marker that we were at before, is a blue marker. And this marker says Old Spanish Trail, Mountain Springs Pass. This portion of the Old Spanish Trail was discovered in January 1830 by Antonio Armajillo during his first trip from Santa Fe to Los Angeles. The springs just north of this marker provided excellent water and fed meadows of luxuriant grass for draft animals. 2 days were required to travel between Las Vegas and Mountain Springs Pass. The trip was broken at Cottonwood Springs, the site of Blue Diamond, where we just were, where an early start was usually made in order to climb the pass by nightfall. Early travelers often referred to the area as Paiute Springs, but the present title has been used for over a century. The altitude made Mountain Springs one of the favorite camping spots on the trail, and I can attest to that because I usually head up to Mountain Springs to escape the Vegas heat in the summer. And the other cool thing about this marker is that there's an old Spanish Trail marker right next to it, this concrete obelisk. This is what they used in the 60s. I think that's when they erected these, before they had these other markers in place. So it's very cool to see this. It's a beautiful spot for this marker, with the exception of the very loud, highly trafficked Nevada 160 and all the motor vehicles whizzing by. But you do have this beautiful view of Mount Potosi right behind me. And then directly across from the marker is Red Rock out there. All right, well, let's head to marker number 3. Speaking of Potosi, that is the name of marker number 3 that we're headed to. The desire of local Mormon settlers for economic self-sufficiency led to mining led by missionaries at Potosi. In 1856, Nathaniel V. Jones was sent to recover ore from the Mountain of Lead 30 miles southwest of the mission at Las Vegas Springs. About 9,000 pounds were recovered before smelting difficulties forced the remote mine to be abandoned in 1857. In 1861, California mining interests reopened the mine, and a smelter and rock cabins for 100 miners made up the camp of Potosi. Even more extensive operations resulted after the transcontinental Salt Lake and San Pedro Railroad, now the Union Pacific, was built through the county in 1905. During World War I, Potosi was an important source of zinc. Historical marker number 115. So what's interesting about this marker is it's on the Spanish Trail, but it's not a Spanish Trail marker. But there is an old Spanish Trail marker right next to it, which I didn't even know. I've been to this marker once before. Well, not this one, that one behind me. But when I was here the first time, I did not even see this one. These old Spanish Trail markers, these obelisks of concrete, those were erected in the 1960s. And obviously they're still in use, which is cool to see that they haven't been demolished and taken down. Yeah, so this is the Potosi marker, which is right here at somewhat the base of Mount Potosi. And if you're not familiar with Las Vegas history and lore, Mount Potosi, this is the mountain that Clark Gable's wife, Carol Lombard, her plane crashed into when she was heading back home from a war bond rally during World War II. But there are plenty of videos that people have done on that particular subject. I have yet to do one, but I'm sure I will, since I do love old Hollywood, so, but not today, another time. So yeah, that's the Potosi marker, the third on our stop. And then the fourth and last marker today will be another Spanish Trail marker. So that makes 3 Spanish Trail markers. We are at the location, or the town, where marker number 4 on our journey takes us, which is Mountain Springs. All right, and we just saw a sign on the side of the road that said historical marker ahead. So it's nice because that gives you kind of a heads up that you're getting close to the marker. All right, we made it to the top of Mountain Springs summit. And now we're gonna go check out the 4th and final marker on this marker quest. This is another one of those stone markers. The first one that we saw in Blue Diamond was a stone marker, and the 4th one is a stone marker, and I think they actually say the exact same thing because they're both Spanish Trail markers. So let's go check it out. Here it is.
The text on Nevada Historical Marker 34 at the summit of Mountain Springs is the same as the text on Marker 33 in the town of Blue Diamond, which we saw at the beginning of this video. The Old Spanish Trail, 1829 to 1850. Stretching for 130 miles across Clark County, this historic horse trail became Nevada's first route of commerce in 1829, when trade was initiated between Santa Fe and Los Angeles. The trail was later used by the wagons of the 49ers and Mormon pioneers. Concrete posts marking the trail were erected in 1965. Thanks so much for joining me on this first installment of my quest to visit all of Nevada's historical markers. Only 270 more to go. This is definitely going to take some time to check them all off the list, but I'm excited to see some of the more off the beaten paths of the state of Nevada.